Reflective practice. Conscious reflection is a form of assessment in which the teacher keeps on note of what is happening in the class and how it can be dealt with and be made better. So it can be done in a simple, quick and informal way in which the teacher observes something which is happening in the class and tries to remedy or to make it better there and then takes a decision. Or it could be in a more systematic approach in which the teacher keeps a journal, keeps on noting down what happened in the class, and then tries to systematically find out a possible way in which the things can be done in a better way. The typical methods of a reflective practitioner include that the teacher discusses various issues which have occurred in the class with his or her colleagues, asks about their opinion and draws on their experiences. Attending workshops and conferences also gives a lot of food for thought for the teacher about how to improve practices in the class, as well as reading reading articles which are related to his or her teaching context, keeping up to date about what is happening in the teaching field, reading the relevant literature, and keeping diaries and journals in which the teacher keeps on noting down each and everything which happened in the class, how the students behaved, how there were problems of discipline, what were the strategies which the learners were using, and how generally he or she can improve teaching methodologies, as well as carrying out action research in which the teacher looks at a problem which happens in the class, finds a better way of doing it, and then observes the effects of implementing those ways. Usually, such type of action research has 5 stages in which the teacher first of all finds an area to examine or improve, then plans the change, then implements that change, observes the results of that implementation, and then reflects on the result. So it is pretty much a cyclic approach in which the results of the observation go back into the teaching process. So there are various ways in which the reflective practitioner can apply this method to the class. First is that the teacher can concentrate on the teaching approaches. For example, a teacher finds that the existing methods which she is using to teach grammar are not benefiting the learners. So she discusses the problem with her peers, more experienced teachers, and then is given advice to change her approach. So she combines her previous approach according to this and the suggested approach, and then subsequently finds that there has been an improvement in the learning of her students. Then reflective practice can be applied to the learning strategies of learners. A teacher finds that his learners are not entirely convinced about the effectiveness of the vocabulary notebooks which they are using. So the teacher notes the new vocabulary and asks the learners only to include only a few of those new words into their new notebooks, and then later on finds on assessment that the students were able to better recall the words which they had themselves had written in their notebooks. Teacher instructions can also be made better by using a reflective practice. A teacher was not convinced about the effectiveness of the instructions which she was giving to the classroom. Perhaps this had to do with the low language level of the learners. So she talked about it with her colleagues and adopted the method of video taping the classes, and found out that she was talking too fast and she was using too many difficult words for which the students could not understand, and then she was not checking whether the learners had understood her instructions or not. So after looking at this video, she realized her mistakes and then made sure that she changed her methodology. The best way for teachers to evaluate themselves is to consider formal training or development, and there are several opportunities which exist for that. Then for the teacher to reflect on the key issues which are confronting him or her in the classroom. Also, the teachers can benefit from each other's experiences, from their peers' experiences. There are several courses available for business English teachers to improve their teaching. For example, there are short workshops which focus on particular topics like material development, classroom discipline, and so on. Then there are initial training courses like the LCCI certificate and the FTB, which go on to the higher level of MA and PhD level. They can be done in part-time and or on a distance basis arrangements. They provide opportunities for the teachers to reflect on their specific teaching contexts.